everyone, and welcome back to Character Design 360. Today, I want to go more into depth on how to foreshorten hands. Make sure to watch the video from last week on how to draw hands if you haven't already done so. The image here shows the hand when it is in a neutral position. If we wanted to look at the normal proportions of the hand, these would be the best poses to do so. Foreshortening is a distortion of proportions due to change in distance between the eye and 3D objects. It's due to the effects of perspective, which our brain uses every day to understand how close or far away things are from us. Even though drawings and animation are not three-dimensional, foreshortening helps us create the illusion of depth. To understand foreshortening better, we need to look at a horizon line. The horizon line is simply the line that represents the position of an eye in relation to an object. As the hand starts to move downward towards the horizon line, the length of the fingers disappears. Then, as the hand goes under the horizon line, the opposite side of the hand appears. Alright, so now that we understand that foreshortening is made up of perspective and proportion, let's look at some examples. The easiest way to foreshorten the hand is to make it significantly bigger or smaller than the face, or to distort the proportions between the fingers and palms. It's always good to trace and use references whenever you can to make sure that your hand poses are accurate. I like to use wide-angle portrait references to study foreshortening because it really pushes the difference in hand and face size. Try to have the mindset of holding a camera in your hands while drawing. In many of these images I'm showing you, the camera is held very closely to the hands to increase the feeling of depth. When you're drawing hands, think about how close the hand is to the imaginary camera and where it is on the horizon line. Just because a hand is reaching towards the camera doesn't mean it is foreshortened. If you look at the hand on the left, you can see that its proportions are equal to that of the face, while the hand on the right is a little smaller than the face. But the back hands in both of these photos are definitely foreshortened because they are significantly smaller than the face. When we look at the foreshortening of the hand itself in this photo, we can see that the pointer finger looks much smaller than the pinky because it is closer to the horizon line. When studying foreshortening, try to look at very dynamic poses because it's likely the hands will be dynamic as well. This pose here is mainly using perspective foreshortening, and the palm looks very squished and it's just above the horizon line of the eye level. When the hand is reaching towards the camera, the fingers will look bigger, and if it's reaching away from the camera, the fingers will look smaller compared to the palm. Deku poses have some really great material for proportion foreshortening. In this pose, the flexibility of the hands are very exaggerated, and because the hand is moving towards the camera, the fingertips are much bigger than the palm. In this next pose, the proportions of the hand aren't exaggerated as much, but I really like the spacing between the fingers. The hand is close to the horizon line and is moving towards the camera, so the fingers are longer than the palm. What really makes this pose stand out to me is the shading. You can tell that the hand is moving downwards because the lighting is on top of the hand, and And you can see that the hand is moving in a very nice curve from the pointer finger to the pinky. In this hand pose, the pinky is only slightly visible because the hand is moving away from the camera. And of course, the palm looks a lot bigger than the fingers because it is above the horizon line. No matter what perspective you're looking at a character, there is still going to be a horizon line. When you know where the hand is in relation to the horizon line, it will help you to show the proportions correctly. I really like this pose because the hand sits above the horizon line, but it's close enough to it so that the fingers look much bigger than the palm. The size of the middle finger is exaggerated the most, and I think this is just so the artist could make it look like the finger is moving backwards. Again, spacing between fingers makes the pose look really natural, and I love the spacing in the fingers for this pose. This next pose is another one of my favorite hand references. I really love the gesture of the fingers, how they curl very naturally. I really appreciate poses like this where you can really see the location of the finger sockets and feel the form of the hand. It's not foreshortened as much as some of the other poses that we looked at, but it's still very good to go over. Like this one where form and gesture of the hand are very clear. This is the other hand from the last pose, and you could probably guess that it is moving away from the camera because the palm size is greater than the finger area. Oh, I've said that a lot in this video, and that's just so that you remember it as a reoccurring pattern when you're foreshortening your hand drawings. Okay, so when you're foreshortening hands, be thinking about perspective, be thinking about camera angles, how close the camera is to the hand, and make sure you understand what the proportions of the hand look like at different points near the horizon line. Alright everyone, I hope that this video was helpful, and I hope it encouraged you to keep on practicing your hand foreshortening. Dream big, live bold, and keep on creating. I'll see you next time.